René Rast and Dennis Olsen, and I think at first that was a big round of applause. So Sheldon, congrats for your first victory of the season. It was the 5th race this season, 5 different winners, 5 different brands on the top step of the podium, and was a banner day for Schubert Motorsport today.
Yeah, that sounds crazy when you say it like that. It's obviously very good for DTM to have so many different winners in the beginning of the year. It feels incredible to do it here in Norisring, because in the last 4 or 5 years I always struggled here at this track for some reason. And yeah, from FP1 yesterday just clicked. We had a super good baseline setup on the car, and I mean, having me and René in 1-2 obviously on the podium here is incredible. So very happy for the team. But on the other side, very, very sorry for my brother who was on 3rd the whole race and something happened again to him. That's obviously not the way I want to see that on TV in turn 2. Every time I go in there, I felt sorry for him the last 10 laps, so it's obviously not ideal. And hopefully we can all 3 be on the podium at some point. That's our dream.
What made your car so fast today? You said you struggled a little bit last year, so what made it so good so far this weekend with the pole position and now with the victory?
We were in a good position in qualifying behind Marco, so we had a good slipstream there. I was in the perfect position with a clear run. And here it's all about timing and qualifying, and when you qualify well here, normally the race is also pretty good. So yeah, I was fortunate enough that René and Ayanshan and my brother were kind of fighting in the back, so I always had a bit of a buffer, even though I was pushing like hell every lap to keep the gap. They were still very quick regarding or considering that they were still blocking and fighting with each other. So yeah, just try to keep it out the wall. At some points I got a bit close where I thought, okay, take it a step back now and just focus on the race again. So yeah, not easy.
So did you step then a little bit back when you saw René was on P2?
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to have your teammate in 2nd place. You know that you have a bit of a buffer and that no one's going to do anything stupid there. So it was very nice to see René in the mirror, and obviously super happy for the team as well. I think it's their first 1-2 in DTM. And yeah, they deserve it so much with all the hard work and effort that they put into this championship. It's always nice to give it back to them as 2 drivers for them.
It was very, very hot today. Is it an advantage to drive in clean air then, or is it hot anyway? Yeah,
I think especially for the brakes, just to drive in clean air here, it makes a huge difference. We had a bit of issues midway through the race to try and keep the temperatures low because it's so hot today. So just trying to cool the brakes down every time. And when I had traffic, I could feel the brakes getting a bit worse. So definitely trying to manage the brakes, and with clean air at the front, that definitely helps.
How is it possible to manage the brakes or to cool it down on this very, very short track? So what do you do there?
Good question. I'm still looking for the perfect way to do that until now. But just maybe braking slightly earlier, not using the brakes as much as before. But yeah, the exact tactic I can't tell you.
Okay, we ask a little bit later. Thank you, Sheldon. So René, back this weekend after one weekend at Zandvoort, where you had other obligations. So perfect comeback, and that was a very, very good race for you today.
Yeah, very happy obviously with my result. Coming from P7, finishing 2nd is more than I expected before the race. I had a very good first lap where I passed already I think 4 cars, so I was 3rd after the first lap, and then it was all about basically managing tires, brakes, and then having good strategy, good pit stop, which we luckily both had. But then obviously I got under pressure after pit stop from Kelvin. Then he retired. Obviously, I'm very sorry for him because I think he deserved that podium, and he did a very good job all weekend long so far. But yeah, sometimes that's racing. But yeah, nevertheless, I think for Schubert Motorsport, me and Sheldon was a fantastic race.
What made the BMW so strong and so quick here this weekend? Earlier in the week, Marco Wittmann already told us it's a very big car around these tight corners. So what made that car so quick here?
I think we put everything in the correct window. I mean, to perform on the level like Sheldon did in qualify, everything just has to be perfect. Tire temperatures, brakes, pressures, a nice draft of somebody. You have to nail the lap. everything has to just perfect. And for him, it was just perfect. For me, it wasn't. So that's the difference. When you hit it perfect, you're first. When you're not hitting it perfect, you're seventh. So I think that we didn't see a dominance of a BMW today. It was just that I had a very good first lap where I was just positioning my car in the right position, and the guys just did an awesome pit stop where we gained a lot of time as well.
And I just heard when you talked to the colleagues from Run Racing that you are deeply disappointed about Kelvin's retirement on a different way.
Yeah, not only that he obviously didn't score points, and he would deserve it obviously, but we would have gone to Mallorca if all of us would have finished on the podium for 1 week. So. No, and this guy in the middle would have paid for the whole week, and I was thinking about Mallorca for the last 20 laps, but then unfortunately he retired. So yeah, it has to come this year.
Okay, maybe we have to speak, Ms. Dennis, for the duration of the stay. So,
it's still a negotiation.
So there is still another race tomorrow, then another chance. Thank you, René.
Thank you.
So Dennis, congrats, first podium for you of the 2023 season. You had a really entertaining race.
Yeah, definitely. It was quite entertaining and full of action. Starting P11, ultimately going to P4. As the guys mentioned, Kelvin had an issue. He was blinking with his lights, and I wasn't getting what he was doing. I saw it clearly that he was struggling. But yeah, suddenly he slowed down. But anyhow, I will always take the position if it's available. And yeah, very happy to come back to P3.
And you really proved that it's very good possible to overtake here on the Norisring with some very nice moves today.
Yeah, it was some good, exciting moves. I was a bit shocked that sometimes there was a few cars moving on the braking when I already committed, and there is no way to stop that early in the corner or in the middle of the braking zone. So definitely, luckily, we didn't have too much contact. But it was fun. I really enjoyed it. And as well, the team did a mega pit stop. I'm not sure about the time, but I think it was 6.5 or something like this. So it was really, really quick.
Okay, we have to check. We to check after the race. So do you have something more in your pocket for tomorrow? Because we also saw unrewarded strong performance by Thomas Preining today. So it seems the Porsche is very quick here this year, also on the streets of Nürburgring.
Yes, I mean, the car suits this track very well. This we are aware of, and I think the team came up with a strong package and a strong setup as well, which really works well on this track. It's very different to what we run at any other track. And definitely, I mean, for me, I have to improve the qualifying performance. I wasn't certainly happy today. I was quite pissed, to be honest, with myself after qualifying. But yeah, you always have to keep your head up high and focus for the race, and there is always a chance.
You obviously have your engine in the back, but I think that doesn't bring the temperatures down. So how hard was it during the race today with those temperatures?
Brakes were okay, luckily, the whole race, the whole duration, and I think that also showed in the braking zones. We were strong there. The only thing is the cooling of the engine, which is more a topic for us, that we are really on the borderline of overheating with the water temps. But we managed to pull out on some of the straights and keep the temperature at a decent level. And yeah, we had full power the whole race.
And with the driver?
Oh, the driving was exciting. You know, we are kissing the walls all the time, trying to avoid to hit them too hard. But yeah, it was fun, and I was looking at those two BMWs, trying to catch them. But unfortunately, I couldn't make a dive bomb like last year with René. So yeah, no, all good. I'm very happy and satisfied.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. Are there questions from the floor? Sven?
Yeah, congratulations to you guys. Question for Sheldon: how big of a relief is this victory now after this roller coaster start of the season for you?
Yeah, obviously Zandvoort was good for us in race 1, but then race 2 was again down after qualifying. So it's always nice to bounce back here in Norisring. Coming into the weekend, I Yeah, I already knew that this is probably not the best track for me, so I wanted to prove that I can really improve here and do it. And to win here, to be honest, I never expected here. We were struggling a lot last year with the BMW generally, so it feels great to be on the podium now, and even win the race is even more special.
Yeah, and a question for René. I think the key to your good result was the first lap. Maybe you can go a little bit in detail. What was the secret? I think you positioned on the outside and you made up a couple of positions there.
Already my first getaway was quite good. I think on the right-hand side somebody was, I don't know who it was, maybe Lucas, he somehow didn't get away well, or another Mercedes, I cannot remember who it was. So there was opening up a gap on the right-hand side before turn 1. And I used that gap and just braked very late and ran around the outside of, I don't know, 2-3 cars. And all of a sudden I found myself on P3. So it was just maybe a bit lucky, because sometimes the outside, as last year, is not always the best side. But sometimes you have to be lucky too.
How tough was your battle with Kelvin? How difficult was it to keep him behind you?
Yeah, he was actually very, very fast. Obviously, we have a bit of an advantage on the straight, but he was very strong on the brakes and in the corners as well. So he was always on my rear bumper. But obviously, I knew that I couldn't, fight too hard against him. But he obviously knows the same. So I didn't expect any crazy dive bombs of him. So it was, I think, everything under control.
And the question to all three of you guys, how tough was it with the heat in this race, and how did you handle the air condition?
In the M4 GT3 I have a lovely air conditioning, so no issues there. Was amazing, to be honest. Hardly sweating after the race just because the cooling was so good.
I was sweating. I'm older. It's okay. I had the air condition on as well, but as Sheldon said, it wasn't too crazy hot. I was far away from passing out, so that's a good sign.
We had to maximize the power we had, so we ran without the AC the whole race. It was quite warm, I have to say. So I'm still sweating a bit, but nice and warm race in Norisring.
Are there any more questions from the floor? No, seems not. Then thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and hopefully see you all tomorrow. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.